Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to LTL Podcast. It is October 20th, 2023, and I want to welcome everybody back in to the live show. If you're watching live, you can chat there on the right-hand side of the screen with all the amazing viewers that are hanging out this evening. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you have to say about the Chelsea Grimm situation and overall what you think of LTL Podcast. So nice to see everybody here. I see channel moderators. I see a bunch of new subscribers. I see members in the room. Thank you ultimately so much for your support of this show. What did you all think about the Turtle Boy show? Did you enjoy it? And I have to say, it was pretty amazing. I think I looked up at one time and we had almost 1,100 people in the chat. Such a fun show, such a great show. And again, I wanted to go out there and just see what Aiden had to say. We wanted to hear from him and we wanted to hear his side of the story. And I thought that, it was an interesting conversation to just really have him put it all out there, see what he is about, his passion for investigating the Karen Reed case. And I knew it would be an interesting show. I really knew it would be an interesting show. And hopefully you all enjoyed it. I see a lot of people were enjoying it. They said it was awesome. Thank you so much, Just Debbie. I have to show something because I see someone sporting. I see someone sporting some pretty thick shades out there. And I want to bring up one of my awesome channel moderators, one of my ultimate supporters here on LTL, someone that's just really helped me out behind the scenes and just becoming a great friend. Carrie H, with the new sunnies on that I sent out to her a couple days ago. Photo looks great. You look amazing and well-deserved. Thank you so much for helping me out here on LTL. I do appreciate Carrie. You do a lot and you've been doing a lot. And thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, friends. Well, we have an exciting show lined up for everybody this evening. We're going to talk about Chelsea. We're going to go over some review. I have a special announcement. And I have a special guest that's going to be joining the podcast this evening, probably right around 9 o'clock. I'm going to drop the link and have them come on and tell us what they've been finding out there investigating Chelsea's disappearance. And I think it's important to hear from this person. So we're going to do that this evening. But before we get into the heart of the show, there's something that I've been planning. And you all don't know about it, but I've been planning something here. And my regulars know what I'm probably going to talk about here when I get into it. And I've been planning this for months. I actually been planning this from August because I've been watching something as it's been growing and going along. And I want to reference back before we go into Chelsea's story this evening is just reference back to the Maui fires. Now, I had done a stream, a couple of streams, I think a couple of streams about it. I had to go back and look, but back in August. And there was a lady that I brought up, and I'm going to bring up the video and we're going to play it because I want you to hear from her. I don't know if you remember Christine Borge. Now, her video of the fire and what was going on down there in Maui. I almost said Mayo. What was going on down there in Lahaina, Maui, and the situation on the ground. I want to play this 4-minute video, and then I want to talk a little bit something about more in depth, something that's been kind of planning because there's always a method to my madness here. But let's hear from Christine first. And again, we're going to get into Chelsea, but I want the show to grow a little bit, and this is something that I've been wanting to do. So let's play this really quick, and we'll hear from Christine about Lahaina.
It's Christine Borge. I guess you could say I'm a kapuna. So I'm 61. I was living on 1A Street. When it happened, I walked away with nothing except my dog. And I've been part of the human experiment ever since. First we were in Maui prep. They passed out toilet paper because they wouldn't let us use the bathroom. I guess we look like leprosy people to them in our dark skin. Then we went to Baldwin High. Now I'm at Royal Lahaina. We need help because we're being told by people from the mainland who are culturally insensitive to fill out papers that will give the America, which I am a forced American. I'm not a proud American. I am forced to be American in Hawaii. You're telling us to fill out this paperwork so that you can give us the least amount of money. All I've had since day one is $700. FEMA is fighting with SBA. I walked out yesterday because I'm hearing conflicting stories of what paper I should fill out. We need meetings in Lahaina. So many people, my employees, they're of Filipino ancestry, they're Filipino. They don't know how to fill these papers out. 4 out of 5 of us lost our homes. It was burned to the ground. We are only being told, stand in this line, sign here. What are we signing? Who is it benefiting, us or America? That's what I want to know. And I want to know when we get to go back to our home in Wainea. Maybe it's gone, but for reasons that I don't want to discuss, we need to go back there. Are you guys going to just scrape it all away and say disaster zone? And America's going to get what they want, their satellite city? Because this was planned years ago. It's now happening. And all the poor people, the homeless, the hardworking people of the hotels, the kapuna, we lost everything. So you could have your satellite city. This isn't fair. I feel like I was used. I feel like crap on the ground. This is not right, and we should not be treated this way. We're in a hotel, and we have no communication. I cannot watch the news. I don't know what's going on. I just happened to see on Facebook there's a meeting here. We couldn't even have our pastor come in and ask us if we need prayer in the very beginning, but Oprah could come in. Who is she? Who is she? They said, oh, she knows the governor. We didn't need her in there.
Give me about another 2 minutes, and then we're going to get to what I want to announce. So let's do this. We'll play through here a little bit more. I just had to stop the video for copyright purposes, or whatever they're going to do here. YouTube always likes to shut me down when I try to talk about something, but we'll play on here. All right, give me about another 2 minutes and I will get to my point in all this, but I wanted you to hear this. And I'm sure you've all heard this before. And then we're going to get on to Chelsea. So hang on.
Bowen High, get her out. We don't know. We also don't need people like Kainashiki telling tourists don't come to Maui. Because some of us, thousands of us, work in the hotel industry. They pay our mortgage. They give us our medical. And the medical,
3 minutes.
besides the county, is pretty good for somebody old like me.
Now, if you heard that, that's a bell that went off and told her she has 3 more minutes. A woman that lost everything. They are timing her.
Me. So don't go tell tourists, don't come Maui, because you're not speaking for us, the working people. You're speaking for yourself.
Thank you, Will. Appreciate
Tourists
you.
come. We love you. We have aloha. You have gave us money through your donations. We're not saying don't come. Come, because you will be helping us, the lower people. The grains of sand of Maui is what we are. We're not the ones living up in Laniapoku. Not one of those houses burned. Puamana is still there. Lahaina Shores is still there. Everything beyond the Civic Center is there, but the homes where we were working, where we were scraping, where we had less than $1,000 a month to pay for our basic needs of gas and food. We busted our ass, and this is what we get. Nobody called us. Our phones didn't work from 5 in the morning. The fire was not 10 o'clock when I went to work. The fire was still there. There was no water. Tell me if that's coincidence. No water, no warning. And everybody talking about the satellite city before the fire. Lahaina gonna be the first satellite city. Well, hey, Jeff Bezos, you got what you wanted. Oprah, you got what you wanted. And the guy who owns Lanai, you got what you wanted. Fuck us all over.
Amazing.
That's what happened. We need help in Lahaina.
Amazing.
Who's gonna come now and ask us, can I pray for you, Auntie?
Well, she's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Can I help you with your paperwork?
Right.
Because all we got so far was $700 and we don't know who to call or anything. It's culturally insensitive in that zone.
She's amazing.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. So that is Christine Borge. Now, back in August, I discovered something, and it's verified. Christine needs help. And I've been planning something, the method to my madness here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about it. So over the last week, I've been doing some donations. I've been doing some donations to win a pair of designer Marc Jacobs sunglasses. That's what they look like. These are the ones that actually Carrie has, but she has them in white. And today, I was going to wait until Sunday, but I've been monitoring this, believe me, over the last couple months. And I think I've donated probably about $100 on her GoFundMe so far. But what we're going to do this evening is I total up all the super chats that you've given for donations. Still going to give these away on Sunday. So I came to about $250. I'm so happy to announce, and what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to round up. I'm going to give her the $500, and we're going to get her to that $10,000 goal tonight. And I've always said LTL is a community effort, and you all helped. You all helped made this come true. And I didn't want to let you know what I was doing because I wanted to surprise all of you, but we were so close, and I wanted to be the ones that put us over the top and got her to a goal. So give me a moment. I'm obviously going to take the screen off, put in the information, give her that donation to get her over 10,000, and then I'll bring it back up on screen so you all know that we did it together. So let's do this. I'm going to just, so I don't dox myself, I have to put my credit card information in, but we're going to round up. So I took your super chats of $250 for the raffle donations. I'm going to double that, and we're going to give back to her, and we're going to get Christine Borge some money to get off that floor because I feel so bad for this lady. She's 61 years old. She's lost everything. And this has been weeks. And you can see 26 days ago, I gave her some money. I think there's other ones in here that I've donated. But we're gonna get her to that goal tonight and help her out. Because this woman stole my heart back in August. So let me do this. Give me a minute. We're going to give a $500 donation to put her over the top tonight on LTL. Let's make that happen. I just want to make sure I do this right and that I'm logged in correctly. Okay. Hang on a second. So I said, I'm so proud of what my community has done to help you. We are deeply touched by your story. I hope this money gives you some relief. LTL podcast on YouTube. And I'm going to post the comment. I'm going to see if we can refresh the page here. So what we have done is hopefully this update soon. We have given the $500 donation through this community to help Christine get over the top. I'm so proud of this channel. I'm so proud of this community. And I hope that Christine now can get the relief that she needs through this. So thank you so much. I appreciate all of you for doing this. We did it. We did it together. And I always love to give back. You know that I, quite a while ago, we gave back to Gannon Stotch. We gave $500 to his dad. And we'll continue to do things like this because I love to give back and I want to see people get back on their feet. So thank you so much for all of your donations. And we'll do this again soon. You know, we'll find someone else that we can help. And this poor woman needs this, honestly needs this. So this is your effort. This is our community. And we will continue to do things like this. I promise you. What a great moment. What a great moment to celebrate and put that over the top. I just wanted to see that 10,000, but I don't know if it's when it will hit, but we'll come back to it and make sure that that goal is met and it's hit. They probably just have to verify the donation, but we'll come back and look at it. And I'm so proud of all of you. And here it is. I'm so proud of what my community has done to help you. We are deeply touched by your story. I hope this money gives you some relief. LTL podcast on YouTube. Bam, we did it. We did it. And she did. She found her dog. She was reunited with her dog, which was amazing. Good stuff all around. Good stuff all around. Thank you all for being here. And thank you all for helping out. And that's why you make this all the best community. I believe in all of you. Thank you. All right, let's move on here to Chelsea's story. And I just want to go back up here because I've missed a lot of super chats. Thank you so much. Cindy with a 19.99, Wheels with a 10, SJ Howard with a 9.99, Dina with a 9.99, and Tsunami says, great channel for great causes. Thank you, Tsunami. They deserve every single bit that everybody can give them. Those people have been devastated, and you know what's going to happen there. Those people are going to get displaced, and you know what's going to happen. It's going to turn into resorts, and they're going to have nowhere to go. So we need to reach out and help people like that. So let me do this. And we're going to get on the Chelsea story here in a minute. We'll do some review. There's been some new articles that I want to get to, and some newer information to share with you all. And then at 9 o'clock, I'm going to drop the link and have a guest come on and join us. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Bella, for dropping the FEMA. Thank you. And again, I wanted to help her out. Her story touched me, and her passion touched me. And it's awful. She's 61 years old. You know, she hasn't had a job to go back to. She's definitely in need for the money. So let's help her out. So I'm very proud to say that, yes, it updated. We got her. It updated by $4. And there it is, by $14. We did it. We did it. 10,014. I'm so happy that will get to her, and she'll be able to use that and help herself out. So let's get Christine off that floor. God, such a proud moment. Thank you. It is well deserved. Okay. Let's move on here to Chelsea Grimm. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about what's been going on, the most recent updates for Chelsea. So I want to go back to a story from the Daily Mail. This just popped up on the 20th. So actually, as of today, I'm sorry, I'm reading the date at the top of the thing. This was back on the 18th, and we'll share this here. So let's go into this. Parents of photographer Chelsea Grimm, who vanished on a cross-country road trip, says she told them when she reached Arizona that, quote, I don't think that I can do this by myself. And I want to let you all know, because I've been in a chat with a lot of Chelsea's friends. They care deeply for her. They are really worried about her. They really want her to go home. They are on top of it. I do know that there are PIs involved, and I can share some of that information tonight that one of the PIs have been finding because it is public on Twitter. So we'll show some of that tonight. I do have a map of the search area that he has been in and around, and we'll be able to go through that as well. So we'll get through this tonight. And again, I'm going to have probably in about 20 minutes, we'll have that special guest come on and give us their account of their investigation down there. So yeah, not much, but at least we can go over and review, Wheel. We can go over and review. And I know a lot of what's going on behind the scenes. I just publicly can't say it. And I have to be very sensitive to the situation. But I can say this. Chelsea's friends love her very much. They are actively in that chat 24 hours a day. I think that my phone vibrates about every 5 minutes. So you can tell that she really cares about her. And there's a ton of information being shared. And there's a lot of good leads and a lot of great information to helping find Chelsea. So I can say that. All right, let's get back to this article. We'll read through a little bit from the Daily Mail. Sorry, I've been like super distracted. I have a lot going on. Okay, sorry. Okay, parents of photographer Chelsea Grimm, who vanished on a cross-country road trip, says she told them when she reached Arizona that said, quote, "I don't think I can do this by myself." Talented young photographer had planned to document her 2,860-mile road trip from her San Diego, from San Diego to Connecticut. I'm losing my voice all of a sudden. She abandoned her plan just 3 days after reaching Arizona, but refused a flight home, telling her parents she could go camping for a couple of days. 8 days later, her car was found locked in with 2 flat tires in an Arizona forest clearing. So it goes on to say in the article, excuse me, I am losing my voice. Missing photographer Chelsea Grimm had abandoned her plans to drive across country from her San Diego home. By the time she vanished in Arizona, her parents have revealed the 32-year-old chose to drive the 202, I'll get this out, 208, yeah, I'll get this out at some point, 2860, there you go, miles to a wedding in Connecticut because she could not bear to be parted from her pet lizard, Roxy, but she disappeared just 6 days into the journey after telling her parents, "I just don't think I can do this by myself." She set out on September 24th, but there's been no sign of her since her car was found locked and with 2 flat tires in the Kaibab National Forest just northeast of Ashfork on October 5th. The day she was supposed to fly east, she called and said, "I'm not going to drive across the country," her mother, Janet Grimm, told News Nation. And we've seen these photos. She said she had packed. She said, "I've packed my car. I have my tent and sleeping bag. I might spend a couple of nights in a hotel. I might camp. I'll sort of see how it goes." 3 days later, she was only as far as Arizona. And she said, "I don't think that I can do this by myself." So she said, "I'm just going to skip the wedding and stay here for a couple of days and do a little camping." She made it sound like she was going to head back to San Diego. The magnitude of the adventure of the drive across the country was a lot, even for Chelsea. And we said she thought that was too much. And if she wanted to, we'd help her fly from Phoenix, Father Stephen Grimm said. Now, these are new details. You know, we're getting a little bit more of the details of the conversation between Chelsea and her parents. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on, but I'm totally losing my voice all of a sudden here. Excuse me. But she seemed intent on this once she had chosen it. Chelsea had planned to document lost and forgotten people for an art project on her cross-country journey and met up with her friend in Phoenix on September 27th. We last talked on the 27th in the afternoon, and she said, "I'm probably going to camp for a couple of days," said Janet. So for a couple of days, we didn't even think about her. She told us she would be offline, and we knew she'd be in the area of Arizona when there were spots not good for communication. It was a couple of days after that we started thinking this is too long for a camping trip. And you can see here, there's kind of a detailed map. And we've seen my Google map, Google Earth map that I've done. And we can go back to that this evening if we need to reference anything. But I'm going to keep moving forward here in the article. We know about the body cam footage, and actually, Carrie, I don't know if you got my email. Email me back with your particulars, because Carrie, I'm going to try. Carrie's actually doing a public records request for me. And we're going to try to get the full body cam footage, the 9 minutes, and have that for you. But it does take 10 business days. So we have that. And we also found out that there is state police footage of when they went out and actually searched the area. So we're going to obtain that footage as well. And you'll be able to see that here on LTL Podcast. Carrie, reach back out to me, answer my email, give me all the particulars so I can pay you. And then we'll get that footage, because you do have to pay for this stuff, unfortunately, because there's processing fees and paperwork. So we're going to be able to do that. But Carrie, reach back out to me and just give me an answer, and we'll get this. So we hopefully have that and have more details here of the video that we can go over and kind of see if we see anything that's happening or going on in those videos that might stick out to us. Awesome. Thank you. So we're going to go on to say 2 days later, after woodcutter outside Ashfork was the last person known to have seen her, he thought that he did not seem in distress or need. Chelsea's father, Stephen Grimm, said he went back to make sure that she didn't want help, and she declined. So his conclusion was that she was in pretty good shape. Nothing more was unseen until her car was found abandoned by hunters on October 5th. There's a chance she got a ride out of there, her father said. She seemed to leave that car in an organized way of her own violation and take her wallet. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. And we think her phone and her sleeping bag, among other things, along with the bearded dragon. Her family are convinced that her love for animals would not have allowed her to do anything that would harm her beloved pet, and have hired a private detective to assist police in the search. Excuse me. Chelsea has always had a special spot in her heart for children, elderly people, and animals, and she would never leave an animal in the car, Janet said. She just wouldn't do it. So I think that's a hopeful sign. I also think there's chances of people recognizing Chelsea are sort of connecting the dots. If they see somebody with a bearded dragon, they're going to take an extra look at that person, because it's unusual to be carrying around a bearded dragon, usually on their shoulder. She was upset with the boy she was dating. She was scared of him. We feel like she was running away from him. And I think overall that was affecting a lot of her mindset. Chelsea's sister, Sarah McCarthy Grimm, warned Facebook followers that Chelsea's ex-boyfriend was claiming to be her fiance and had set up a phony GoFundMe appeal to help with the search. Her father said his hiring the private detective was no reflection on the police effort, but the authorities are simply running out of leads. Excuse me. I feel like we got real professionals who are trying their very best to find her, and we're grateful for that, he explained. And yet there are not many new clues, so understandably it goes slightly different levels of immensity for them, and it seems like it couldn't hurt. See, I get it. From a PI standpoint, you have to realize law enforcement, they're working on other cases. So it's not just Chelsea. They don't just drop everything for Chelsea. We would love that, but that's not how it, it works in investigation. So if you have a PI and you're paying that PI to look after someone, that's the case that they're going to be on. They're going to stay constantly on that case. So they can look, they can have this case in their head 24 hours where police are going to take initial reports. They may go out and talk to a specific lead or a sighting, maybe go to that area, and they'll have to come back and work on other cases. But the PI can stay right on it. So Wheels is asking, let's see here. Will's asking, do we know the whereabouts of PJ and Elias? Just curious. I'll be able to share some information about that in a couple of minutes. So it's a nightmare, and it's been one that you could never imagine yourself in, wouldn't want to wish on anybody. But having that said, we're hanging in there. We're holding on to hope. So that's really, the first, the that's all we have at this point. That's all we really have. But what I want to do is I wanted to pull up. There's been a excuse. I wanted to pull up. Sorry. I wanted to pull up a private investigator that's been on this case and share some of his tweets of what he's been finding out in that area. And I found this to be really interesting. So this is from SF Investigates, and it says, this is a video, and I hope you all can see it. Great. It says, this is a video from the exact spot that Chelsea Grimm's vehicle was found. I'm puzzled by the disappearance. This is not like anything typical mountain disappearance. I'll be back tomorrow, though. So let's play this video.
So this is the exact spot that where Chelsea's car was found. Sheriff's Department does have a missing person poster up there. It's also that's the first sign I've really come across the whole way here. There's also a turnout. Like, she came from this direction, coming this way, but there's a turnout right here, like where my car is. But apparently she stopped right here in the middle. It's flat. It's easily walkable. Lost person behavior would probably tell you that she'd keep going straight, which is mainly where they searched. But I just have a feeling that because it's so flat and easy coming in, and she knew that she may go back out the same way. But they did search. I've got their search grids, their lines that they searched by air and by ground, and they did a bunch to the west, some to the east, not a lot north, very little to the south. So I think I'm going to do, I've flown a couple drone flights already. I think I'm going to do some to the south. That takes you into pretty heavy tree line. Well, no, except they're not real tall trees. And then north, although it's private property, she would have to cross a fence line eventually, but she may just walk that way because there's these windmills up there, and that would give you the illusion, or not the illusion, it would let you know that there's a road there. So, but this is a good road, so I don't know. It's very strange situation.
Oh no, can you not hear me? It's tough because I'm looking here and I can't see the chat when I'm reading, and I can only look up and see the chat when I stop. So I'm sorry. This always happens to me. I muted because I was coughing, but you pretty much read what I was reading along, what I was reading. So I'm sure you were all smart in reading. But I was just saying that I think it's good that I'm so bad when I do this. I get caught all the time. Uh, I totally do this all the time, but I think it's good that we get to see the area exactly where Chelsea's car was. I thought that it was a lot more rugged in that area. I thought there would be a lot more mountains, maybe some canyons, but it's not looking like that at all. It's flat and it's grass. And it does, like you said, it looks like it's something very easily where you can just walk right out of there. So it's an interesting landscape. It's a very interesting landscape. And it's not as, like I said, as rugged as I thought it would be. Yeah, mind your business, flatlands. So very flat, wide open. Okay, give me 2 seconds here. Just have to check something. Yeah, I know. I got it. All right, let's do this. I'm going to set something up here. Give me a couple seconds. I have someone that's going to join us, but we'll go to, we'll go to just a simple timeline. Let's pull this up. So let's just simple timeline it again. September 24th, Chelsea left her home in San Diego. September 27th, Chelsea met with a friend in Phoenix. On the 27th, Chelsea was last seen in the hotel in, I say Siegelman. It's probably wrong. Siegelman, maybe. September 27th, last day, Chelsea talked with her parents. September 28th, body cam footage shows Chelsea talking with police officer in Williams, Arizona. Hang on 1 second. Hang on. I'm just confirming with my guest. Okay. September 30th, Chelsea talked to the woodcutter in Ashfork, Arizona. Parents file missing report on the 4th, and then on the 5th, authorities find Chelsea's SUV outside Ashfork. Give me 2 seconds. I'm sorry, my phone is going crazy today. I'm trying to line up a guest, and sometimes shows happen like this. Very spontaneous. So again, simple timeline. We put it out on the Google map. I put a fantastic map together. We'll pull that up via Google Earth. We've been kind of pinpointing all the new sightings, all the new leads. Lots of information here. Again, for me, looking in this area around Ashfork and Williams, that looks like it seems to be the concentration area here, where everything has been kind of happening. The sightings, the all the leads, all the new leads that have come through, the leads, and again, it's it's weird. It's very, very strange, and I can tell you that it has been a head scratcher for me. It's been a head scratcher for Chelsea's friends that I've been talking with, and there's new theories every day as new information comes in. We scratch our head, and I always play a lot of what ifs, and I just want to get back to this because I think I missed Michelle with a $9.99. Thank you so much, Michelle. I didn't want to not recognize you. So thank you so much. And that will get you into the drawing on Sunday. So thank you. So Sandy's asking, have the tires been examined, air let out, or punctures? We don't know yet. I think that we do know, but that information hasn't been shared with me. There are just certain things that are being found out, and I do know this for a fact, but it's just things that we talk about because it could ultimately taint the investigation. All right, I have someone here that I want to bring in that we've heard a lot about. His name has come up a lot. Maybe we can get some answers to some questions. And he's reached out to me a little bit and kind of in the fray. We've been hearing a lot about him. So let's bring him in here. We have, let me just bring him up here. Elias joining the show. Welcome to LTL Podcast. How are you, man?
Hey, good. How are you doing, man?
Good. So we're hearing your name a lot, come up in a lot of articles, and I'm seeing you on IG. You've been reaching out to me, and I kind of want to hear what's going on. What you got going on down there in Williams and Ashfork?
Well, so this is the situation. I know Chelsea from Ocean Beach, California. We've been friends for like a year, just like more acquaintances. I know Rozzy, and I know her ex-boyfriend or very recent boyfriend. I was in LA helping my mother. She's very ill. And I went to San Diego to decompress a little bit, of course. And he got a hold of me and he's like, would you come help me search for Chelsea? And I'm like, absolutely, let's go. And on a whim, just went and did it and started doing some investigative research here, just like basic stuff, flyering and this and that, visiting the site. Then got a little more involved when I met an Army Ranger and his medium wife. They took us in and they let us stay at their hotel and then continued to help us on the search with their Jeep and his artillery force. Cause like I said, he's a Army Ranger. So some of the areas we've been going are quite dangerous, full of very interesting people on drugs and stuff like that. It's a very vast area. I was very surprised to find that one of the first things I found out was that the Williams police were really never looking, but looking out for Chelsea. And so one of the first things I did on my way into Ashfork was notice on the side of the road some fire mitigation firefighters, a group of 20 or 30 of them. So I pulled over, gave them the information that we know. Not a single one of them have heard of the situation. So now they're out there and their whole force knows to be on the lookout. I then contacted the U.S. Rangers because I couldn't find Forest Station Road 6 on any Google or anything. And then a local brought me to that, but then found out when I hit up the U.S. Rangers, who are constantly out in the woods and doing stuff, they had also not been notified, no all points bulletin. And now just after 2 weeks, 2 days after the disappearance or something like that, the Coconino Sheriff Department has now stated that they're pretty much completely backing out of the foot search and for a physical search. So anything civilians can do to, get the word out like you're doing, I super appreciate this. Yeah. And I was able to contact other people that she spoke to even after some of the people in the news, including one of the woodcutters. I don't think so. And also did some night reconnaissance and sent some of my drone friends out for probably like a 75-mile sweep over the past week and 3 days or so, and alerted many hunters, and then gathered some new suspicious activity that we found when someone tailed us at about 10 p.m. maybe 3 days ago. Please go ahead. You asked me some questions, man.
Well, the biggest thing for you, and I think that we've been hearing a lot about, because when we hear this kind of in the media, is we know a name PJ that has come up. We know about a GoFundMe. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because that was a lot of, some negative press on you.
Absolutely.
And yeah, talk to us about that. What's your relationship with, take me back a little bit first. How did you first meet Chelsea? How did you first meet PJ? And then how did you end up in this situation? Let's talk about that first.
I first met PJ and Chelsea right around the same time, probably upwards of one of them at least a year ago, all within about a year's time. And they were together on the beach and probably hung out with them twice, together with the group of friends, just, hanging out, having a couple beers and having a fire.
Sure.
And then I actually saw PJ with Roxy, whatever you want, either way you can call her. And I even babysat that lizard, so I had no reason to think anything that like he's not liked by the family, and actually he made it seem like he was dealing directly with them.
Yep.
I know at least the sister's not too particularly fond of him. Honestly, I don't think he's any kind of involved or anything, but there was no malicious intent even by him to take money from anything or exploit this whatsoever.
So then why start the $30,000 GoFundMe? If you're not exploiting us, if you're saying that he's not looking to exploit any situation, then why start that?
Because he was going to use it strictly for this, and that's the honest truth.
Okay.
And would have provided any kind of thing as far as receipts or anything like that.
Okay. Do you know what his plan was to do with 30,000 is a lot of money, Elias.
I really know that. And he didn't have an active phone, so I allowed him to use my phone. So, I kind of got caught up in a weird predicament, but
sure.
And that's why I made the immediate apology. But he did on the whole first leg of this, I have to say 100% crowdsourced through his family and friends in Ocean Beach enough money to get a large vehicle out here and provide food and this and that. And, he was out there in the field. He was doing the thing. And that's a fact.
So have you parted? Go ahead.
Yeah, I parted ways with him just moments before I posted the video.
And what day was that, or what date was that? Do you remember?
You can actually check the video on this was probably maybe 5 or 6 days ago now.
Okay.
I have not been with him.
So where are you now? What area have you been searching, and what have you been finding out through all of your, searching around and talking to people? What are you hearing is the last contact that anybody's had? Have you heard anything other than law enforcement? What are your leads telling you?
I only get, kind of suspicious leads as there are a couple of reservoirs very near there that a large amount of very sketchy people, like meth heads and possibly even people manufacture. It's a really sketchy place. If you saw it, you know what I mean. A lot of strange little sheds and things.
Like, what the heck was I going to say? What's that show? Breaking Bad? It's the kind of stuff.
Absolutely. 100% exactly like Breaking Bad. And you can, it's very, very much like that. And I was kind of warned, especially if at night, to not go there with people that aren't armed. And one of the missions the other night, we went out and with my friend Ray, that I know from Las Vegas, he actually supported with his Jeep Wrangler and his RV trailer, and we set up a base camp quite a bit of ways just to be able to clear our heads and stuff, and then return to the site. So the other night we're out there, we had taken a wrong road, which is let's see, 124 is where you're supposed to go to find where the vehicle was. We went on another one. A rancher stopped us and he's like, "This is not a way you're going to find anything. You need to turn around. This is endless. There's 500,000 acres of national forest back here." So we're on our way to the train trellis area that connects to Forest Station Road 6. And I notice we're getting tailed by a truck probably half mile away for about 10 minutes or so. We stopped the vehicle right in the road so that they can pass us or whatever.
Right.
And they didn't gain on us. And that's very strange. So we continue on. I pull into the road before station road 6 by accident because it was dark and I couldn't really see where we were. And that same truck passes us all strange. And then we continue down the road. He's like, that truck just saw us and he just got a, like chills down his spine. We continued down the road about 2 miles and then turn into the actual place that her vehicle was found. And that truck was there running with a man inside of it under a tree near the train trellis on 6,
Interesting.
which I found to be highly suspect. And the mannerisms that the man displayed once we turned around, I didn't have time to quickly pull out my phone, but it was like late 90s, early thousands, maybe Toyota Tacoma, big tires, and a brand new temporary plate. And when we pass a man, especially in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere like that, we caught a very good glimpse of the person. He didn't turn his head to the right, to look away from us, but he also didn't like turn his head to acknowledge us. He just kind of stared straight because when we turned around, he was directly in the headlights. And this man was probably 6'1", pretty hefty mustache, dark colored. Couldn't really decipher the color of his skin, but he was a big, bulky man, probably not fat, but muscular, kind of like a construction worker's build.
Yep.
And so we get out of there and burn some dust, go down the road, and we're kind of scared shitless. I'm not,
Right.
like I said, we're not carrying weapons or anything like that.
Right.
So then we have to make this decision. Do we go back and try to get a picture of him?
Right.
And then sat there and pondered that for about 5 or 10 minutes. And we're like, all right, just pull into the end because your vehicle's faster than his. If we have to drive away quickly, we can, but I'll keep the video going. I have the video of that, by the way.
Yeah,
And
send that to
I
me.
said, I'll send you anything I got. So
Cool.
I go to him and I'm like, so one thing, bro, he was following us from the Ashfork way. There's only one way to Williams. If he's not there when we turn around, this is super sketchy and this is probably some serious lead. We turn around, pull into the spot, and the dude's gone.
Wow.
So I've notified the Coconino Sheriff Department and locals and anybody I see out in the field on ATVs and side-by-sides and stuff.
Yeah.
And I show pictures of Chelsea's search. I tell them anything I can and proceed with caution.
So where are you now? Are you in Williams or Ashfork? Like, where are you located
I'm in
now?
Sedona at the moment, to be honest. So I came here on a lead from a bartender named Jackie that works at one of the main watering holes,
Right.
to meet up with somebody that's actually not going back to work until Sunday. So I kind of missed them, but I'll say that a couple of the people I'm talking to are mediums, and I'm not going to be opposed to taking those routes if there's not too much effort.
Right.
Because even the family's private investigators used a medium's tip as some new information. So
Sure.
I'm just doing the best I can.
Are you from in and around that area? Like, where are you from?
I'm from New York originally, but I've relocated to the West Coast because, like I said before, my mother's quite ill in Los Angeles with a pretty shitty disease that
Sorry to hear that, man.
not curable. That's a whole different story. But
so I have if you don't mind, if I can take some questions from the audience. They have some questions for you. Do you know if the FBI is involved in the case?
So I'm hearing that there will be talks to the FBI within the next 24 hours. That's the knowledge I get. I can't really disclose where it's coming from. I was asked not to.
Sure.
But yes, people are contacting the FBI very shortly here.
Okay.
I don't know if they already have. I can't confirm that.
Sure. Another question. Was she skilled in outdoor types of stuff, like being able to survive outdoors? Do you know that?
Yes, she is, and I do know that for a fact.
Okay.
She hikes and everything, and I mean, she's a pretty smart woman.
Okay. Let me see if I have any more questions here. Tsunami's asking, have they tried using the spirit box for clues yet?
No, but that's something that has been mentioned to me, to be honest. I'd like to give their names, but I didn't. I don't have permission to. But right here in Sedona, two mediums have been contacted via another medium in Williams. That's a 40-year friend of one of them, and we had a very deeply beautiful and good prayer and like a moment with a group of people. Sending our intentions out to Chelsea and everything like that.
Sure.
So I just thought that was a really special lead, and these are upstanding citizens in the community that work at some of the places that everybody frequents here.
So VC, I don't know if you've heard of Yolanda Miller, and they're asking, do you think that there's any similarities between Yolanda Miller's case of Sedona last year? I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I'm lightly familiar with that, and that's still unsolved, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Well, one of the most unfortunate things about anything is, quite honestly, this area and that area over there is it's a very well known for human trafficking and things of the sort, and there's a very dark set of colors of people that are in the area involved with it.
What do
That's
you
what I
think
can say about
happened?
it. What's that?
What do you think happened? What's when you're investigating and you've been out there, you've been kind of boots on the ground and kind of putting things together, and you've been out there, so
Yeah.
you've seen the area, her, you know.
Yeah, and
sort
she's a
of. What do
very
you think?
free-spirited person that would, hang out with anybody that seems trustworthy. But also, I don't think this hasn't been said nationally yet, but from close friends, it had been mentioned that she really wanted to start a whole new life and this, that, and the other thing, and actually even mentioned potentially going to Mexico.
Interesting.
So if you haven't heard about that on the news and that hasn't leaked out, I'll be the first to tell you, and that comes from a horse's mouth. And multiple friends could probably step forward and say that with their hand on the Bible with no problem.
Is that what you're starting to think? You think she just,
it's really hard to say. One of the things I found harder than anything is to get other than officers that I meet in a public setting.
Yeah.
Getting to talk to Detective Luna, who's in charge of the case, or any other people like the sergeant that's also involved with it.
Right.
I'm having a very hard time. The information's not out there, and I just wish they would share a little bit more. Kind of like, okay, the tires were popped. Why were they popped? Did they do a test to see if they were punctured by something in the road? Were they slashed? That was actually one of the first questions I had in my mind. When her vehicle was found, I'm like, wow, two tires? That could make sense with a driver that's not used to driving on that terrain, because it's pretty rocky out there. But why were the tires slashed? Why was the camera left behind? There's a few things,
So you're confirming here on LTL podcast, you're saying that her tires were slashed.
I cannot confirm that. No, that's the information I wanted to know. That's some of the most pivotal information I could want to know, is what punctured the tires. Were they punctured simultaneously? Were they made to look like it was disabled to throw people off for a couple days? I don't really know what to say about that. But that's one of the things I think the public should know. How were those tires popped?
Right. I mean, that's something that we're trying to figure out. Well, it seems weird to me. I can see, and I'm sure, you've thought about this too. One tire, but two on the same side, it's a little weird.
And seeing exact site, okay? The road is, big enough for one vehicle to drive comfortably in one direction. If there's a vehicle coming the other direction, you're going to have to step aside. The positioning of the vehicle and how in the middle of the road it was is just super weird. Anybody's common sense is to, pull to the side a bit.
Right.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Have you been out to the area, this specific area? Because this is the video from that area.
Yes,
and
I
here.
have multiple videos. I have at least 30 minutes of videos from out there.
Cool.
And
Send
at
those,
night.
man. I'd like to see them.
Yes, I will. I will.
Yeah.
I just posted one a few hours ago online. If you want to check that out.
Yeah,
And I have
absolutely.
several others we can go and walk through with you
Cool.
and tell you where I was.
So, in the chat there, they're asking, have you heard anything of any, in the people that you've come across, have you heard anything of mention of foul play or a kidnapping or anything like that?
Yes, and some of the locals I've talked to in Ashfork, mainly Ashfork, which is a very rundown, very small town, very eerie little town. But most of the people I've talked to are relatively friendly. And I talked to and interviewed a few people just to ask a little bit more about the area. They're like, "Hey, is this a place that this happened?" He's like, "Yeah, man. To be honest, all the time." And this guy's the person I talked to is the one that gave me the information about the reservoirs. One of the mediums had mentioned a hut type thing with maybe a tin roof and some old barnwood type stuff at the base of a mountain near a reservoir. She had never heard of Chelsea's name, and the first thing she said before I showed her a picture of Chelsea a week and a half ago, she said, "Big frame glasses, prescription." And she's like, I see big. So I'm not one to disbelieve anything or discredit anybody with an ESP talent, but the way that she came out and said something like that, and the fact that she pointed down the road to other people that will, give their abilities to help without paying for it as a gift from their heart,
So I have a question here, and they're asking, how did PJ know her car was out of gas when law enforcement didn't? It's been written in the GFM. Is Elias going to delete the GoFundMe like he said he wouldn't a number of days ago on his IG?
I'm sorry. Hold on. Can you roll the window up, buddy? Sorry, I'm driving right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not driving, but what was the last part?
Sure. So they're asking, I'll go one by one. They said, how did PJ know her car was out of gas when law enforcement didn't?
Oh, who said that? I never heard about that.
Okay. And then it's saying it was written in the GoFundMe. And then it's asking, they're asking, is Elias going to delete the GoFundMe like he said he would a number of days ago on his IG?
I did that a long time ago, and I was live talking to the sister when I did it, and I apologized directly to the family, So that was something that was the second I started getting messages and stuff, I immediately got on with her sister, Sarah, and told her everything the way I know it. And she's like, honestly, PJ's a bit unstable and he can trick people sometimes, but I really don't think he's a malevolent person. I think he just has some mental issues he needs to address, truly.
So someone's saying here in the chat, the same person, they're saying the GoFundMe is still live.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean, if that is, I'm going to go ahead and look, but yeah, no, nobody's received any money, and that was created from my phone by PJ. So if whatever I got to do to remove that, I will. That's on IG. Like, if someone can send me a link to a live page, I'll go shut it down. Like that. That's something I thought I already did.
Okay. What I'll do for you is I'll drop your IG if anybody, wants to send you a link or anything. I'll drop it in the chat.
Oh yeah, no. And I've actually, I told anybody not to respond to that link. And I was on I could send screenshots with the sister. I was on there trying to disable it. Like I said, I was 100%.
You said you did disable it. You said you disabled it.
I honestly thought I did. And I thought taking it down and going to my email. And if I didn't, then yeah, no, I haven't received anything from that. I thought it was disabled 100%. Because like I said, I was talking to the sister, and that's what I immediately tried to do. I'm not the most tech savvy person in the world.
Okay.
But
you're going to work on that. You're stating here you're going to work on that then.
Oh yeah, dude. The second we go off this, I'll get right on that. No problem.
All
I
right.
have nothing to hide, man. Absolutely nothing to hide.
All right. So I don't know. Do you have anything else to add? What's your next plan going forward? You said you're in Sedona right now. Are you going to go back in the area and search? What's kind of your plan going forward here the next couple of days or week or so?
Honestly, some of the help that was ready and willing to come help me is my friend that owns a homestead near Williamson Valley. He's actually in South Dakota doing some beet farming for like the next week. I am gonna go and fly to my house in New York to go pick up my travel van and come back out here in like a few days.
So you're going to
But
keep searching the area.
I'll probably be leaving the area in about 48 hours and be back within a week.
Okay.
But
All right.
one thing I would encourage people to do is to get a hold of any hunting sites or anything like that, or Cabela's stores, and just kind of spread the knowledge between the people that are actually out there just for recreation and things. That's one of the main crowd sources. So yeah, I was here in Sedona and just so happened to come across an older couple on their side by side, and they're going through those roads like tomorrow to just on a recreational thing. But the more eyes we have, out there on the back roads looking for whatever they can, the better, I believe.
Yeah, of course, man. All right, man. I'm going to let you go. Keep checking back in with me. Let me know how the progress is going. We'd like to hear some updates from you. I appreciate you taking some time and coming on the podcast, letting us know. Do you have any parting words before you go, man?
Hey man, let's just do the best we can to find Chelsea. Also, any drone enthusiast groups I've been joining to try to get more people with maybe drones and infrared out here. There's a
Sure.
lot of people doing things for fun out here that could be in on the search. Hikers, runners, whatever. And let's do what we can. And if anybody can get more knowledge from the Coconino sheriffs or some of the private investigators working on it, that'd be
Sure.
awesome. And thank you for having me and giving the opportunity to tell the story I have for you.
Yeah, man. Keep in touch with me.
I will.
All right. Keep us updated.
And I do want to apologize again for any confusion with the GoFundMe thing. I was only trying to help. And if there's anything running, please send me a link and help me deactivate it. That's an honest fact.
Yeah.
I have received no money. Only support I've received is people coming out with me and giving me their time, offering their vehicles and their love and prayers for Chelsea and her family. You should ask people to report it. Thank you, man.
What was that? What did you say? Ask
Oh.
what?
No, that's so my friend, what'd you say?
You should ask people to report the post or the link for the GoFundMe.
Oh yeah, if anybody sees that, report it. I don't know what else to do. Like I'll get on there and figure it out, man.
All right. Yeah,
I don't know. I really thought it was out.
Yeah,
but
keep me up to date with it, man.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
All right, Elias.
Nothing to hide. Not a dime's been taken from anybody.
All right, be safe out there, man. Keep in touch with me and keep me updated.
Thank you so much. I'll hit you up with a DM after.
All right, boss. Take care.
All right, man. Have a great night. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Take care. Be safe. All right, that is Elias. We had to bring him on. His name has come up a lot in this investigation. We wanted to hear from him. And I guess we've gotten his story so far. You can make what you want to make of it. But I thought I would bring him on and let you all hear from him because we've heard his name surrounding in and around this case. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick pause. I'm going to open up the phone lines for about 30 minutes and let you all call in. And I want to hear from all of you. What do you think? What do you think in the Chelsea Grimm case? What do you think is going on? What could have happened? Maybe you want to talk about Elias. We'd love to hear from you. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pause for about 2 seconds and I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. Nature calls, duty calls. Sometimes you got to go. You just got to go. Yes, bathroom break. I had to go really bad. All right. Let me get the phone line set up here. Give me 2 seconds. Let's see. All right. Okay. Let me set up the phone line here. And I'll let you all call in. You can let me know what you think. What you think. All right. Call the show. 774-855-9400. What I ask of you, please, if you call in and I have someone on the line, don't call because you will bump that person off the line. Just let them clear, and then I'll let everybody call in. So let's be respectful. If anybody wants to call in and talk about this case, 774-855-9400. Let's give the caller that's on the phone the respect to talk, and then we'll give them like 5 minutes. I'll end the call, and then I'll ask to call in again. So come on, we got a brave soul. 774-855-9400. If you want to talk about Chelsea, talk about the show, talk about LTL, talk about Elias, talk about the investigation. Let's hear from you. What do you think is going on with Chelsea? What do you think happened, or what possibly could have happened? No one, come on. Where's the brave souls out there? It's Friday. It's Friday night. They have, not me, I'm saying they have a lot of information that has been compiled. I have seen a lot of it, and I cannot disclose a lot of what's going on. I've been asked not to unless something has been shared publicly because it could compromise the investigation. So I have to be very, very careful. Come on. We need a brave soul. 774-855-9400. What do you feel happened? Where do you think Chelsea is? Do you believe Elias? Do you think Chelsea will come home? What do you think? Can't call from Australia. I could drop a link, though, and you could pop on. How about I do that? You don't have to show your face. Link is there. If you want to jump on that way, it's probably easier. I'll give you 5 minutes. Just click that link, healing time. You don't have to show your face. You can just do audio and we can chat. If not, I'm going to sign off. All right, we got our first caller here. Give me a second. LTL podcast.
Hello.
Who do we got?
Well, hello. Bella called it. This is Crime Susan.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So what do you think? I'll give you the floor for 5 minutes if you want to talk and tell us about what you think in this case.
Oh, that poor girl.
Mhm.
I was just watching you the whole time that he was up there because I was trying to figure out if you were buying any of that or if you were just, doing a certain angle to, get information or what. Like, did you believe any of that? Because I don't think anybody else did.
I have guests. I let guests come on the show to share their stories.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just wondering your opinion. I mean, what did you think? Because
I let Elias.
Everybody that I have seen, it's like that guy is best friends with her ex, who she left because of abuse.
I let Elias come on to tell his story because we wanted to hear from him. So I let you decide what you all think. I wanted to hear information from him to let you all hear from him because his name has come up. right? We've heard a lot about him,
Right.
but I
right.
wanted to hear from him. I wanted to hear what he had to say and what he was doing around that area.
I hope somebody high up is like watching, different things that he may be saying in different places.
Sure.
I noticed as well that he spoke, and TJ was right there. You could hear him in the background a few times,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't have anything to say. I thought that was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they're even out there doing this. I get major heebie-jeebies from the whole situation.
So what do you think?
What
do you think happened?
I don't know. I don't get a good feeling from this guy. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's not telling the truth about the GoFundMe. He said days ago that he deleted it. He did say that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but if you pull it up, it's there. They're wanting $30,000. It is still live.
Mm-hmm.
And Philip identifies himself as her fiance.
Right.
And said that they had lived together for 8 months. But that's not true. She broke up with him. She left him.
Right.
So the whole thing is just, and then him saying, oh, I thought I did that. I thought I deleted that. Well, I've made a GoFundMe a long, long time ago. I raised a lot of money for a children's choir, and only the person who creates it can log in or can disable or delete it.
Right.
So I don't know why he was even saying in the first place that he was going to, because it says Philip Brenner on it.
Well, he said he did first, and then he said he was going to, and that's what I said. You need to get your story straight. And then the story changed again. So he said he's going to follow up. I'll follow up with him. We'll keep checking the link. We'll see if he holds out on his promise, and we'll go from there. But I brought him on because obviously we've heard a lot about him, through Facebook posts, through news articles. I want to hear from him. What did he have to say? And that's why I brought him here. I wanted you all to hear from him. So I think you're smart. I think you figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we all, we were watching you. We were watching your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
We were picking up what you're putting down in a few places. And I do appreciate you having them on there.
Sure.
Sometimes you can have controversial people on, and everybody's like, no, F this guy. And
right.
Sometimes you got to give people enough rope to let them hang themselves. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to do this. I got someone in Healing Time is going to jump on really quick, just kind of hear what she has to say about this. And I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk soon.
All right.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Let's bring Healing Time in. Hello. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you. Hello from Australia.
Hey, welcome on. What time is it there?
It is 12:37 p.m. Saturday.
Oh, geez. So you're already a day ahead.
Yeah. Oh, we're always ahead. Don't you worry, bro.
Right. So what do you think? What do you have to say in this case? And you would probably be very familiar with this type of climate there, because Arizona does resemble a lot of kind of Australia's climate. What do you think happened?
Well, as a mother of 7, I really, and some adult children with mental health problems, mental health issues do come out in later age for some women too.
Sure.
So I really think there might be a undiagnosed sort of bipolar or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel for this young woman. I think she's just having a manic episode. Sometimes when people are being manic, they do really silly things.
Right.
Hypersexual things, will hook up with strangers and things that they would not usually do, which would really confuse their parents.
I have shared some things with some of Chelsea's friends. Well, a specific one that I talked to a little bit more. Artemis, she was on my show the last couple shows that I had. She came on and was very gracious to do that. I had shared, and I even shared it in the group that I'm in as well too. So my brother, I hate to talk about these things because I don't want to bring it to the situation, but let's just say my brother is no longer with us, and there is signs that I see from my point of view in this case, and I don't like talking this way, along the lines of a bipolar episode, because my brother
Yep.
did have bipolar, and my brother took his life. And I see some things with evidence that's brought that I have seen that I've been asked to not share. Certain photos, certain way that things are, all line up in the situation that I saw in my brother's case. And I
Agree.
don't again, that's just my opinion, my opinion at this point until there's some, more news that comes out or some more information. And there's a lot of information that I can't talk about, but what I'm seeing here is an unfortunate situation.
And I agree with you. And I think what a lot of people aren't seeing is that bipolar in early 30s is very highly diagnosed with women. A lot of time we're just going along without it being diagnosed. And, and there's also borderline personality disorder that goes in along with that too, that we need to look at, that's also undiagnosed. And I think there's a lot of underlying things that none of us know that's going on through this girl's mind.
Yeah. It's something, like I said, and I've said this all along, something caused her to pause in Arizona. And if you've watched the other shows, when we looked at the map, she just kind of spun a circle for a couple of days. And that to me is thinking about something. And then obviously
hypomanic maybe even. And,
I'm sorry?
And not being able to hypomanic.
Yeah.
Up in a manic state and not even knowing what she's doing and thinking one thing going one way and then thinking somewhere and going back to where she came from. It's very, very telling.
And then that one report, and I forget what article it was from, but when she went to Siegelman, I'm pronouncing it wrong, and she had that episode at the hotel with trying to exchange euros, they said that she couldn't believe that she was that far north. It was either a witness statement that said that she said she couldn't believe she was that far north. So she was out of her mind in some sense, either on maybe drugs or, like you said, having a manic episode.
Or lack of sleep from drugs, you're right. Lack of sleep can do that to a person, put them into a psychosis and not know where they're going.
Yeah. And the thing that is very interesting to me as well, too, is what I've talked about is she had this kind of what I call push-pull for like 3 days. It looked like she was going to go east and go to Connecticut to her destination. And then it looked like she was going to go home and then come back east. And that's kind of the map. She spun kind of this circle until she made, whatever decision she made or the unfortunate thing, something tragic happened to her. So it's interesting and it's just strange. It's like
it sounds like she was soul searching too.
Yeah.
It sounds and she's at that stage of her life as well where we're looking for purpose in our life.
I just want to pull this up from Crime Sleuthing. She says her very last Facebook post of the future was happiness. She wasn't depressed. She appears to be sensitive, emotional soul. Her pupils were normal. Her last selfie as well. Very close up pic. I just want to go on this for record. And I'm sorry because I'm talking about very sensitive information. When someone does something to hurt themselves, they're always at their happiest. My brother, days up until he took his own life, was the happiest person in the world. He actually went around and started touching base with people and had a smile on his face through this.
Because they're happy they made that decision.
He had a smile on his face through the entire thing. And there were signs afterwards. When we noticed the signs, he laid his suit out on his bed that he wanted to be buried in. He had his Bible placed out. He had other things that were in and around his Bible. He wrote letters to everybody and sent them, so they would get there on the specific day that things happened. So, that's the thing. You never know when someone's going to hurt themselves. They could be the most happiest person in the world. And what do you hear when you hear these tragic things, maybe about celebrities or whatever that take their own lives? Robin Williams was so happy days before he took his life. So I have to disagree with you, and I respect to disagree with you. And I'm not saying that in any wrong way, because I think it's a valid point that she brought up. But, you know, Robin Williams didn't give any indication that he was sad. People said that he was extremely happy up until the day that he killed himself. And again, I'm not saying that Chelsea did that, but I'm just basing it off my my experiences. You know, that's
Oh,
kind of
totally, I understand. And as a mother, to me, that's just the last thing in my mind. I always think of the try and, you know, that I totally agree with you in what you're saying, though. That is very, very highly from what you've been pushing out about, like what you'd seen with your brother and that. And I'm so sorry that happened for you.
Thank you.
That's a lived experience for you. And for me, it's like you're reliving it again at the moment. And please.
Yeah, it was kind of,
strong, bro.
It was weird because
Please don't relive it too much.
Right. It's nothing that I want to ever see anybody go through. It's an awful experience. It was just very strange because, you know, when a family's kind of broken apart, it's this that brings us all back together. And it's just, it's such a long personal story. But it was really ugly in the sense of when the family got back together, there was a lot of fighting and bickering, and there always is in these cases. You know, there always is when these things happen, and it's tragic. It's unfortunate. I don't want to see anybody go through it. It's gut wrenching. I mean, it was the most gut wrenching experience. I couldn't even get in to the wake. I literally, my legs were rubber. I could not walk through the door. I can't do this. You know, eventually I did find the power in me to do it. But it was the most awful experience I've ever gone through, beside my friend being murdered. So,
well, we appreciate you being open and honest with us, Brian. Hey, and that's why we're all here for you. I just want you to know that.
Well, I appreciate you being on, jumping on, and calling all the way from Australia. That was pretty cool.
I was so glad that I could act. Every time you put the phone number up, I'm like, I can't afford that.
Well, anytime you want to chat, I'll drop the link for you. You can pop on and say and let us know what you think.
Thank you, my friend. And I'm going to head off and let someone else come up.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, we're coming up on about an hour and 30. I'll take one more phone call. Let me just set the phone line back up. I'll take one more call, and then we're going to end it because I want to try to end on an hour and a half now, because I think that's just better on replay. Okay, so let's do this. One more phone call. I'll allow 774-855-9400. If you want to call in, I'll give it about 2 minutes. If I don't get a call, we're going to end this podcast tonight. If you missed anything so far, you can go back and watch it to the beginning. This will post as soon as I get off here, and you can go back and watch it to the beginning. We got one more call here. Let's see. This is going to be the last call for this evening. All right, hang on. LTL podcast. Who do we have?
Hi, it's Sandy McMasters.
Hey, Sandy, how are you? Talk to us about Chelsea Grimm. What do you think?
Well, you know, I'm not so sure about the suicide thing.
Okay.
For one thing, the pet. I mean, that obviously that bearded dragon was very important to her.
Of course.
What would she have done with her? It's a her, Roxy.
Roxy, yep.
What would she have done with her?
Well,
I mean, I actually went on Craigslist in Arizona.
Yeah.
To see if anybody was trying to sell a bearded dragon.
Right.
Because I thought, if there's so many sketchy people around there, I mean, they could have bumped her off for the cigarettes. Somebody in the chat said that they saw American Spirit cigarettes in her purse. Those are expensive.
Yep.
I mean, druggies will, you know.
Right.
So I didn't see anyone looking to rehome a dragon that didn't appear to have had one for a while. There was nothing that looked like a recent thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, that to me, that doesn't sit well with me, that she would have done anything that would have put that pet in any jeopardy.
Can I just throw can we play devil's advocate for a second?
Sure.
Okay. So you're in Arizona. You're in an extremely
Yeah.
warm climate. You have a
Yeah.
last conversation and you said, I'm sorry, but you know that if you let it go in this climate, it probably could strive or survive. Maybe she's upset in that car, thinking all of these thoughts through. What should I do with my dragon? Should I let it go? Having maybe that feeling, that bad feeling in her heart of coming to terms with that, coming to terms with what she's going to do going forward. Again, I'm just spitballing here. Coming from, from where I'm coming from in this. Is it a possibility? I don't know. The thing that's just very strange to me, and again, I'm not saying that Chelsea did that, but the thing that's very strange is she's just vanished, like almost like something's picked her up out of the air and she's gone,
Yeah.
And it's just really strange.
Well, and there's some weird, I know you have information that you can't share, but the whole thing with the tires is weird.
It is.
It is. Because if they saw the car and there was no damage to the tire, people look to see, okay, did somebody get a flat tire? And there wasn't. And then when they went back and looked at it, they had been slashed or whatever. Did she run out of gas? The question that I have, and I think it's difficult to speculate. Maybe some of her friends know, but we saw her parents. They look to be devastated. Her mother's
devastated. You can tell. Her mother's devastated. I mean, you can see it on her face. Right.
Yeah, but what was the relationship with her parents? Because her friend talked about having been in a boarding school together.
Yep.
Would she perhaps feel like she was a disappointment to them or something along those lines, that she wouldn't want to admit that maybe she wanted to start over, or they would say, hey, you're crazy, or maybe she wants to disappear and start over and be able to go to them when she's established herself somewhere.
It's funny that you say that, and I wish I could pull the chat up right now. I said food for late last night, about 1 o'clock in the morning in the chat. I said food for thought. Let's just think about this. Do you think she get out to Arizona? She's having trouble with the ex-boyfriend. We know that we've heard reports, and I can't confirm that she's had issues maybe with some drugs. She's feeling bad about herself. We've seen the Bible quote. We've seen the vines on the arm, letting go, growing new roots. She drives out. This is her opportunity. Maybe she's been planning this for a while. This is the opportunity to drive out. She knows Arizona because she's been there before on a retreat. Okay. She gets to Arizona. She's letting go of the past. Maybe she's saying, this is my opportunity now. This is where I can disappear. I don't want anybody to find me. I want to clear my head, get free of this guy, get free of the drugs, get free of everything. She's found this new spiritual awakening through God. Okay. Finds a retreat in Arizona, has someone come out and pick her up, stages that she's disappeared. She goes away for 30 days, 90 days, pops up clean, clear, away from this guy, safe. Could that be a possibility?
It could be a possibility. The other thing is, before you started on this, nobody was really talking about her. And now there's a few others, but I haven't seen a lot of even the media from that area. She may not know.
Right. Yep.
If she did decide to, take a time out somewhere, she may not realize that there's a private investigator and that people are talking about this. I can't imagine her leaving her parents hanging like that if she did know.
Well, again, we don't know the relationship between her and her parents. What caused her to leave Connecticut and go all the way out to the West Coast. Yeah. So we don't know. We don't know that relationship. We're not privy to that type of information. Maybe there are some issues. Why haven't her parents gone to Arizona? I asked that. If my daughter was missing, I would be in Arizona. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that at all.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not attacking her parents. I'm just saying, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That would be the first thing I would do, actually.
Of course. It's your baby. It's your child. So.
Yeah. It's really interesting, and I give you a lot of credit for having jumped on this the way that you did, because like I said, before you did, nobody was talking about it at all.
No,
So
and unfortunately,
find
you know,
out
like I said, unfortunately, the smaller channels like myself don't get the push. But the minute, you know, News Nation, CNN, Daily Mail, they drop a video, they've got almost 1 million views. You know, and it's sad because I say we because we are a community. You watch the show. We were on this first. You know, I know the minute I went off air that night, you were all looking into it and you share information in the chat and you're concerned. So I say we because, you know, I've always said that LTL is a community. And, you know, it's sad, you know, because I wish we could get a little bit more reach, but I'm doing as best as I can. I'm in a chat, like I said, with some verified, very close friends of her that really care a lot about her. You know, look, we had Elias come on tonight. We know that he's kind of part of this story and his name has come up in several articles and news reports. So
you got to talk to everybody you can.
Of course.
I mean, even if he seemed a little off, nevertheless, we don't know what kind of information we might be able to glean from
100%.
him. You can't shut out anybody right now.
And that's why I wanted to have him on, because he's been out there. He's been posting. We know that he's friends or you know, a friend of PJ's. He claims that he knows Chelsea. He's been around Chelsea. So we got to hear from him. We got to hear from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Well, thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, I appreciate
really appreciate it. I love the show.
Thank you so much.
Or the channel, I guess I should say.
Well, I thank you so much. I appreciate it. And, you know, when I open the phone lines up again, if you ever want to call in, please do.
All right, will do. Thank you, Brian.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. All right, my friends, we are coming up on 1 hour and 40. I do want to end the show because I'm trying to keep them to around 1 hour and 30. I think another fantastic show here. Again, if you're not getting notifications for LTL, I've said this 1,000 times over. Come to my channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's usually when I stream. Believe me, I will be here. I may miss a day or two, but I will be here. Just check. You know that I'm always live. And I want you all to be here. If you're not getting those fucking notifications, like I know, you know, YouTube is not sending out, check here, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., or check the morning of. I always post my tiles at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So you'll know if there's a show. My next show will be Sunday at 8 p.m. I can't do a show tomorrow night, but my next show will be Sunday at 8 p.m. I may do a late night members only tomorrow night. So you can look out for that. But check my tiles. I always post them at about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning of. So you'll know that I'm doing a show. Listen, I appreciate every single person that's come in here tonight. Everybody that's been part of the show. I want to thank Elias for jumping on, of course, and hearing his story, because obviously we've heard a lot about him. I want to thank all of Chelsea's friends that have allowed me to be in that chat, share information, get information, and you know, just keeping this to the forefront. I will continue to do shows on Chelsea until Chelsea comes home. I will continue to do it. I might not do them every day, but we will come back and revisit this until we get Chelsea home. So I promise you all of that. And if I hear anything that is new or breaking or anything, I will be the first to know. Believe me, in that chat, I just have to get verification if we can talk about it, and I will bring it live to all of you so you know. Thank you all for being here. We did an amazing thing this evening, and I just want to go back to this really quick before we go back off air. If you missed it this evening, I want to let everybody know, and I'll just revisit this really quick. We've been doing donations for the sunglasses that I'm going to raffle off or give away on Sunday. I had a special plan for that, and I've been kind of cultivating this plan for the last couple of months, and I've been watching Christina Borge's GoFundMe, and I wanted to get there, so we were the last people to put her over the top and get her that $10,000, get her that relief, because everything was devastated in that Maui fire. And we heard from her when she stood up at city council and gave it to them, and good for her. So LTL, the community here this night, I took your super chats and I totaled them up about $250. I doubled that money. We gave her that $500 that put her over the top on this GoFundMe, and she's going to be able to get that money and do something good with it, get back and build back her life. And I am super proud of all of you. And if you didn't see the post, I'll read this really quick. And it says, I am so proud of what my community has done for you, Christine. We are deeply touched by your story. I hope this money gives you some relief. LTL podcast on YouTube. So we did that. We made that happen for Christine. Thank you all so much. And I will get that for Crime Sleuthin. Thank you, Carrie. I'll get that in for the drawing. And Sunday night, we will do the drawing for the Mark Jacobs classes. I want to thank everybody that called in. Of course, thank everybody in the chat. I appreciate you all. Have an amazing Friday night. And I'll see you back here on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to talk about Natalie Holloway and the recent developments in that case. And if I get any breaking information over the weekend about Chelsea, I will slash that stream and we will go into talking about Chelsea. Chelsea's friends, if you're watching, thank you so much for letting me be part of your community and giving me the opportunity to chat with all of you. You're amazing people. You really deeply care about her. And we want to see Chelsea come home. So everybody have an amazing night. I will talk to you all soon. Please make sure to go back and comment on this video. Let's get this video out into the algorithm. I appreciate all of you, and I will keep you updated on anything that breaks in this case, of course. Everybody have a great night. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.